Hi, this is Dr. Lisa Olson, physician and founder of Smart Weight Loss Coaching. I'd like to briefly say thank you so much to our regular listeners who follow the show and tune in every week. My team and I are incredibly grateful that you take the time to listen in and also to share our show with those you care about. Truly, thank you. Also, if you're serious about wanting to lose weight, I'd love to see you increase your engagement with our podcast workbook. The workbook goes along with episodes number 1 through 50 and propels you to take action to create habits that will help you lose weight and transform your health. It's available through our website at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Olson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. Today I'm going to share one of my favorite weight loss hints ever. You're going to love this, although I think it's more relatable for the women in our audience than the men. You'll see why in a bit. One thing I hear from people often is that they know exactly what they need to do to lose weight. And it's true that they typically eat beautiful, healthy meals. But then they get hit with a desire for something that throws them off track because they find it irresistible. They try to tap into their willpower to resist the chocolate or resist the fries, but it's a losing battle. This is so relatable. We've all been there. I know I have. I've got you covered. Today I'm going to share the absolute best way to coach yourself around food desire when you're trying to lose weight. Let's start by going back in time. When my sister and I were little, I was often bothering her. I would try to scare her or borrow her clothes without asking, or I'd boss her around. I have a memory of being on the outside of her bedroom door and trying to push my way in as she pushed back against the door from the inside, trying to keep me out. That's resistance. That pushing hard with all of your might against a door, with someone pushing equally hard on the other side. You know one of us is going to give up at some point. Someone will relent, and then the door will either slam shut or fly open. This is what it feels like when we use resistance or willpower to fight the desire for a certain food. Maybe it's candy. Maybe it's ice cream or Skinny Pop popcorn. Maybe it's pizza. If you find yourself in a willpower battle of resistance, you know that rarely ends well. Eventually, the metaphorical door flies open and the chocolate flies into your mouth. There's only so long we can resist. Why is that? Well, willpower is a limited resource. It gets depleted when we're upset, tired, angry, disappointed, and yes, it definitely gets depleted when we're hungry. We run out of willpower when we ask ourselves over and over to resist certain foods that we crave. When our willpower runs low, we eat off plan. And this makes weight loss harder than it needs to be. So if using willpower to resist treats isn't the answer to weight loss, what are we supposed to do when we're hit with a burning desire to nibble on some cheese and crackers? Keep in mind that I'm not saying treats aren't allowed when you're trying to lose weight. What I am saying is that impulsive eating needs to be addressed. When we stop eating impulsively, we have more success following our plan for mostly healthy eating. The skill we want to practice is learning to sit with the discomfort of food desire without acting on it in a way that doesn't tap into resistance or willpower. I'll say it again to make sure I'm being clear. Today's topic is how to sit with the discomfort of wanting a food without acting on it. Of course, you can plan pizza when you're working on your weight, but I wouldn't recommend having it every Friday night. Sometimes you're going to want it, and you're also going to simultaneously not want it because you know it will work against you. Maybe you'll choose to have pizza something more like once a quarter. That's what I did with pancakes. I didn't make pancakes forbidden. I simply said I can't eat them every weekend with my kids and expect that I won't gain weight. So now I plan pancakes as a treat a few times a year. How often my kids have pancakes is a topic for another day, but I allow myself to have pancakes a few times a year, and because I've planned it, there's no regret, remorse, trash talking myself, or saying I'm being bad. We all know that calling our food or ourselves bad never leads to positive energy or results. If I'm allowing myself to have pancakes occasionally when it's planned, how do I handle an unplanned pancake situation? Here's what we do. Let's say my kids have a day off school, which happened today and is exactly why I thought of this example. They had a dentist appointment at 11. And when they were done at noon, they really wanted pancakes from our local pancake restaurant. So I said yes. But remember, while pancakes aren't forbidden, those of us working on our weight will recognize that I didn't plan pancakes for today. So I can go to Walker Brothers Pancake House, but I'll be getting a veggie omelet without the pancakes and without the hash browns. You can start coaching with this kind of self-talk. It's okay to want the pancakes, Lisa, but you didn't plan them for today. Since I'm working on not eating treats impulsively, I'm not eating the pancakes. I can plan them for next week, but I'm not having them today. Here's the next step. I feel the desire for the pancakes bubbling up, and I tell myself that I can sit with the discomfort of that desire. Now we're getting into the juicy part of this podcast episode. It's time to talk about wedgies. You know what I'm talking about, right, ladies? Did you ever get a wedgie when your underwear crept up into your, well, you know. I know you have. We all have, right? Stay with me here. This will circle back to be about pancakes and weight loss. But first, I want you to imagine what it feels like when you have a wedgie at a really awkward time. Maybe you're giving a presentation at work. Maybe it's your wedding. Maybe you're walking through the airport or you're on a first date. What do? You sit with the discomfort, right? You remind yourself that it's not killing you. You're not bleeding out. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to you. You can live with it. Is it uncomfortable? Of course it's uncomfortable, but you can do hard things. And there's no amount of wedgie discomfort that would drive me to pull out that wedgie in the middle of walking through a crowded airport. If you've got some sort of anti-wedgie superpower and you can't relate to this, just think about something mildly uncomfortable that would be awkward to do in public. So you have to sit with the urge without acting on it. You wouldn't burp in front of your boss, perhaps, or you wouldn't scratch an itch somewhere private in front of your girlfriend's parents. Now you get the idea. Before we circle back to pancakes, I'd like you to think about the last time you got a wedgie at an inopportune moment, or you have the desire to scratch an awkward itch in a public place. You reminded yourself to live with the discomfort, and then you eventually forgot about it and moved on. In fact, it's entirely possible that you didn't remember your wedgie until an hour later when you went to use the bathroom. If you're a teacher, you probably weren't standing at the front of the room obsessing about your wedgie while trying to teach Algebra 2. That discomfort fades into the background, and over time, it pretty much goes away. That's sitting with discomfort without acting on it. Are you with me? Time to revisit the pancakes. So you want the pancakes, but you didn't plan them. And anyway, you know you just had pancakes last weekend, so it's really not the right time. You're going to sit with the desire for the pancakes without resisting and without using willpower, because resisting keeps you highly focused on the pancakes, just like pushing on my sister's door. Resisting is a very active and engaging process. But when you sit with the discomfort and talk yourself through it, quite likely it will fizzle out over time, just like the itch or the discomfort from the wedgie. So you simply remind yourself, if I can teach an Algebra 2 class while sitting with the discomfort of a wedgie, I can handle the discomfort of wanting pancakes without eating them. I can do hard things. That's it. That's my secret wedgie strategy for how to sit with the discomfort of wanting something without acting on it. Remember this, and you'll remember how to pass on impulsive treats without resisting and without tapping into willpower, which we know is a limited resource. Just let that desire simmer, whether it's a desire to pull out your wedgie or to eat ice cream. Now that you know how to allow a desire without amplifying it, get out there and practice. This is definitely a skill that takes a lot of repetition, self-coaching, and practice. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.